everybody. Good afternoon to you. Meteorologist Travis Glaneski. I guess I have a habit of saying good morning to you, but it is officially the afternoon, 12:10 in the afternoon on Monday, April 15th, and we still are facing that threat of severe weather later today, which is why I'm doing an update this time of the day. Also, real quick, I want to mention we are now under a red flag warning in these pink shaded areas off to the northeast and back towards the west. The air is a little bit drier here in western and northeastern areas. We've actually seen a good plume of higher dew points move in, though, in these areas here, and that's going to keep that threat of wildfires down, which is good because the winds are very strong and they're getting stronger this afternoon. And in fact, we're going to jump ahead here. Of course, I have the set for my morning show, but let's jump ahead to the here and now. There we are right now. Winds are already strong. They get stronger through the afternoon. It's going to stay fairly quiet for most of us through the afternoon. I really don't expect much thunderstorm-wise through 5 o'clock. If we were to see anything, it would probably be right in here. But most of us will not. But look at those arrows moving. It's going to get windier this afternoon. It's already windy. It's going to get windier. This is all set, and bringing that higher dew point in, this is all setting the stage with an approaching system for severe thunderstorms starting this evening and really picking up after dark. Let's take you through the evening hours now. We have thunderstorms firing up. Your best chance is going to be up here in northern Nebraska, but there's going to be more that are developing down in Kansas late this afternoon or early this evening down in central and southern Kansas. Those will lift northward and we'll see more develop as well into the later evening hours. So now we're pushing 9, 10 o'clock. That's when we really start to see the game get going here. And we are going to have to watch this because these could be supercell thunderstorms. And we're really thinking areas near and east of Highway 83. So right in here, severe thunderstorms. There's still a chance farther to the east as well, and then some of this up north here. All modes of severe weather possible. When it comes to supercell thunderstorms, very large hail, tornadoes are also possible. These will eventually kind of merge and become maybe more of a cluster of storms late tonight. That could maybe bring us more of a damaging wind gust threat. And this is now, again, well after midnight tonight here. So we're still talking severe weather over central and eastern Nebraska, north central Kansas. And this could continue through 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. The severe weather threat, while it does go down, is not completely zero tomorrow morning. There still may be some isolated severe storms over eastern Nebraska. The threat's pretty low now in central Nebraska. And this whole threat will shift to the east during the morning hours tomorrow. But our main low pressure center is right here in southwest Nebraska, and this is going to lift northeastward. Timing is important because while it's only a slim chance of additional severe weather on Tuesday, there is a chance. We're going to get more wraparound showers and thunderstorms around that low. Here's noon tomorrow. Already this forecast model has the low just north of the Tri-Cities. That would mean the threat of severe weather is likely going to be north of the Tri-Cities. I'm really watching the northeastern quadrant of this whole circle right here. It's the northeastern areas because I've watched systems in the past like this where you get the severe weather event either one day or the next night, and then the next day the main system pushes through. And sometimes you get these little spin-ups right here, these little spin-up tornadoes sometimes on the northeastern edge of that low. And it's probably a brief window of time, late morning, early afternoon, where this could happen. Because later, as we get into the afternoon, the system lifts to the northeast. 1, it's clearing out of our area, but 2, it's going to probably weaken. The other thing I'll mention here, okay, you got these breezy southeast winds. Winds will be kind of lighter around this low, but then we've got strengthening west or northwest winds out west. Winds are going to get really strong here. That lifts to the northeast. So there's our low there. But notice how it kind of weakens. It just kind of becomes less distinguished, I guess is a way of putting it. But the winds are going to strengthen out of the northwest on this backside of the system. Still some showers, isolated thunderstorms, and then just kind of down to lingering showers clearing out by midnight. Winds will pick up from west to east across the area, but they will already start to lighten up farther to the west by Wednesday morning. And we'll see that lightening of the winds from west to east as we head through the day on Wednesday. So, the latest from the Storm Prediction Center, this map has not changed much since earlier this morning. A large part of our area included in an enhanced risk of severe weather. It's a level 3 out of 5 threat. The threat gets lower as you go towards western parts of our area. Slight risk here, a marginal risk here. I built a couple of new graphics just to show you break down the specific types of severe weather. Let's start with the tornado threat. This has changed since this morning. This morning, it only had the green and the brown color here. The new update that came out at 7:30 this morning from the Storm Prediction Center, they included this yellow area right in here, plus the black bars. This means 2 things. So the yellow increases this to a 10% chance. What does this mean? Well, what do these percentages mean? That's the percent chance of a tornado occurring at any one point within 25 miles of a point. So, for instance, in the yellow shaded area, let's pick out a specific spot. Loop City, you have a 10% chance of a tornado occurring. That's a 10% chance. That's a 90% chance of it not happening. So it's not like it's a huge threat, but a 10% chance of a tornado occurring within 25 miles of your town. The dashed line, that means significant. That means there is a 10% chance of a tornado EF2 or larger. Again, still way higher odds of not having that happen than having that happen. But the chance is still a little more enhanced than normal. So that's what this area is. This basically means your highest tornado threats in here. You're normally on your high risk tornado days, you're up here around 30 to 45%. Your moderate risk days, you're right in here. This is an enhanced risk day right here, slight risk day, marginal risk type day. So again, we're kind of middle ground right in here. That's the tornado threat. Hail threat. This is the overall biggest threat for the entire area here, and you've got a pretty good chance. And look at all the black lined areas, which is indicating significant severe weather when it comes to hail. That means 2 inches in diameter or larger. There's a pretty good chance of we're going to see some of that around here as we head into tonight. Finally, the severe wind gust threat. The biggest change occurred actually with the new update that came out at 11:30 this morning, and they added in this pink area right in here. Now, there is no SIG on this. That's basically meaning 70 plus mile per hour wind gusts. But still, we may see some gusts up to 70 miles per hour, and the highest threat is likely to come when those storms merge over north central Kansas and south central Nebraska during the late night hours. So we could be looking at maybe a bigger, maybe less of a tornado threat by later tonight and more of a severe wind gust threat right in here. So breaking it all down into one specific graphic, this is what we have right here. Again, that's the threats that I've already laid out for you when it comes to the hail, wind, and tornado threat. Flash flooding, not likely. I think these storms will be moving fast enough that shouldn't become a huge threat. Tomorrow, the threat is much lower until you get to the east of the Missouri River. That said, I still think there's at least a chance of some severe weather tomorrow morning with those storms as they push northeastward. And then again, around that low, I'm kind of watching this area right in here in northeast Nebraska for the chance of maybe an isolated tornado tomorrow, late morning, early afternoon. All right, I mentioned the winds getting stronger on the backside of the system. Well, out west tomorrow morning and afternoon, a high wind watch is in place. This means wind gusts way out west could get as high as 55 miles per hour. We won't see those kind of winds Tuesday night, but the winds will get strong Tuesday night in central Nebraska. We may see some gusts up to around 40, 45 miles per hour when that system starts to depart the area. Highs today are going to be very warm, 80s and low 90s today. Tonight we'll drop back into the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Coolest west, warmest east. Highs tomorrow, much cooler, but still pretty mild. Most of us in the 60s. The big thing is if those clouds get really thick, we could stay a little cooler than expected right in here. Might see some 70s, though, out ahead of the system here in the southeast and east central part of the state. Much cooler to the northwest. Tomorrow night, a little cooler, 30s out west, 40s for most of us. And then for your Wednesday, one more decently mild day on Wednesday as we're kind of between that departing system and the next cold front off to our northwest, which starts to approach. In fact, you're already kind of seeing the first taste of it right there in northwest Nebraska. That passes through. Let's check out the 7-day forecast. First off, the next 3 days. Again, we cool back quite a bit tomorrow and Wednesday, but still decently mild. Much chillier on the backside, or with that next cold front coming through. That brings us that next chance of rain Wednesday night into Thursday. It's going to be a little bit on the windy side, much cooler. Still a small chance of rain again on Friday morning. Still kind of on the coolish side. Another small chance of rain, maybe a little snow mixed in if it's cold enough right here early on Saturday morning. Otherwise, it's just going to be one of the chillier days of our forecast. Saturday is going to be quite chilly. Saturday night likely to be the coldest night. Many of us could fall below freezing. That's something to keep in mind here, especially for those of you that have been running your sprinklers already. Beyond that, Sunday is kind of the beginning of the next warm-up, which will continue into next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're back into the 60s, 70s. There are indications of maybe some getting above 80 degrees next week here. So it will get better, but we've got some big changes coming first later on this week. But again, the biggest thing I can emphasize before I wrap things up here with the chance of severe weather coming later today, mostly after dark. You're not going to be able to see a lot of these storms. Many of you could be sleeping by the time these storms hit you. Have ways of being notified about severe weather, especially when it comes to that tornado threat and even damaging wind gusts as well. But have ways of getting notified. Now, yeah, you could have the cell phone app. Our cell phone app is a great way. There are other apps as well. Tornado sirens are a very limited purpose. They're mostly for people outdoors. They're not for people that are indoors, especially sleeping at night. It's hard to hear sometimes unless you live right next to the thing. One of the best things you can get is an all hazards weather radio. and no, they do not pay me to say this, but it is one of the best devices you can have. If you are very good with technology, you can set it up to where it's only for your specific area, so it's not going off for 2 counties away from you here. Or you can set it up for a county night next to you too, so that maybe you want to get notified a little ahead of time as that storm approaches your area. But again, with this being a late night severe weather threat, it is good to have something like that when you're sleeping to wake you up, just in case you need to be seeking shelter in the middle of the night. All right, with that, that is all I have for you for today. John Walsh will be working here this afternoon and this evening. He will update you at 5 and 6 o'clock, and of course, he'll be cutting in as necessary later on tonight. When it's necessary to cut in, he'll have more on 10 o'clock as well. And I'll probably be in very early tomorrow morning to relieve him of his duties if there's still ongoing severe weather during the late night hours as well. And I'll see you all again tomorrow morning. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you all again. Take care and God bless. Bye.